DW Africa Link.
It's exactly 5 p.m. here in Bonn, Germany, elsewhere in Lagos, Nigeria. Hello and welcome to DW's Africa Link show live from our studios here in Bonn, Germany. My name is Josie Mahachi.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. Happy to have you on board through our partner stations across Africa and live via our Facebook page, DW Africa.
Now, coming up, as South Africa gets new minister to tackle power crisis, will the situation improve? We hear from an analyst.
The appointment of an electricity minister is really meant to get an experienced project manager to make sure that the resolution of the problem gets addressed in a coordinated and integrated manner.
Now, you know, a lot can happen in the dark when there is no light. Now, still on South Africa, a spike in gun crime angers citizens.
Really, I think we all have reason to be very, very worried. The criminals are having a major onslaught. Organized crime syndicates are running amok. There's no respect for life. There's no respect for property.
Make sure to stick around for these stories and more. But first, the world news in brief.
DW News.
Hello, I am Okeri Ngushinado. Al-Shabaab has taken control of a village near the southern Somali port of Kismayo today following an attack on an army base in the area. In a statement, Al-Shabaab said its fighters carried out a heavy attack on the army base, but there were no immediate reports of any casualties. The attack comes days after President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud visited Kismayo ahead of a planned anti-Al-Shabaab operations in the Jubaland region state. South Africa's rand weakened early on Tuesday. This is just after President Cyril Ramaphosa appointed a new electricity minister to try to solve the country's worst power cuts. Ramaphosa also announced the establishment of 2 new government ministries as part of his cabinet reshuffle.
Our most immediate task is to drastically reduce the severity of load shedding in the coming months and ultimately end load shedding altogether.
There is more on the story on Africa Link. Tropical Cyclone Freddy is set to hit Mozambique in the next few days, a regional weather center has reported. The National Meteorology Institute has warned that the storm currently moving towards the southeastern coast of Madagascar might be accompanied by heavy rainfall and winds of up to 110 kilometers per hour. Cyclone Freddy first hit Madagascar and Mozambique in February, killing 21 people and destroying many homes. China's new foreign minister, Jin Kang, warned that the U.S. and China relations are heading towards inevitable conflict if Washington does not change its approach. In his first media appearance, Kang cautioned the United States from interfering with Taiwan and further noted that the recent U.S. decision to shoot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon created a diplomatic crisis that could have been avoided.
If the United States does not hit the brakes but continues to speed down the wrong path, no amount of guardrails can prevent derailing, and there will surely be conflict and confrontation.
And finally, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is on his way to Kyiv to discuss renewing a UN-brokered wartime grain export deal between Russia and Ukraine. The Black Sea Grain Initiative frees millions of tons of grain and other foods that would be otherwise stuck in Ukraine due to Russia's invasion and blockade. It allows for shipments via 3 Black Sea ports, with Turkey playing a coordinating role. That's the latest news. I am Okeri Ngushinado.
Africa Link, every weekday here on DW.
Thanks for staying tuned in to the program. This is DW's Africa Link program coming to you live from our studios right here in Bonn, Germany. Eddie Micah Jr. is the name.
And I'm Josie Mahachi. We welcome you all listening to us from all our partner stations across the continent and live on our Facebook page, DW Africa. We appreciate everyone who's already tuned in. Now we begin the show in the Rainbow Nation. South Africa has a new Minister of Electricity, Dr. Kosieto Ramokopa, who faces a mammoth task to tackle the worsening electricity crisis.
It is indeed a mammoth task, Josie. This comes 3 weeks after President Cyril Ramaphosa noted that the country had also declared a national state of disaster for the electricity sector.
Now, what exactly does this appointment entail? Because everybody has been asking that question today, considering the fact also that South Africa already has an energy minister. And that was the first question I asked Anthony van Nieuwkerk, an analyst and professor at the Thabo Mbeki African School of Public and International Affairs.
Let me start by saying that South Africa experiences a severe deficiency in the reliable supply of electricity. So the appointment of an electricity minister is really meant to get an experienced project manager to make sure that the resolution of the problem gets addressed in a coordinated and integrated manner. That is his job.
Now, many say the new electricity minister has solid credentials, but they also believe this will be his greatest test after being accused of bankrupting City of Tshwane and couldn't get electricity meters installed. Do you think he will be able to battle the outages of up to 12 hours a day caused by the collapse of Eskom's coal power plants?
Yeah, the resolution of the electricity problem in South Africa doesn't lie in the hands of one person only. This is going to require teamwork, and the team needs a team leader or a manager. And this is the reason why President Ramaphosa appointed Mr. Ramaphosa to undertake this. The president wouldn't have appointed Mr. Ramaphosa if he was found guilty of gross negligence or mismanagement of a very large tender when he was involved in one of our major towns as the mayor. I don't think he's been found guilty of that. My own, of any of those accusations, the word that you used. My view is that that might have been a bitter lesson and a deep experience for him to bring to the table.
Now, I listened to his interview earlier today, and he said his strategy is to visit every power plant in the country, discover the challenges, and start solving them one by one. Your thoughts on his strategy?
Look, he's released a first plan of 60 or 70 pages. The president and the cabinet, our national executive, is still busy refining the terms of reference for him. They're running quite fast. And I think it's admirable for a new appointment to make sure that he understands the nature of the problem by visiting those power stations.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's been also lots of rather deep-rooted corruption allegations against Eskom and also even in the system, like you mentioned earlier. But before I let you go, Professor, what exactly does South Africa need to tackle this energy crisis?
Yeah, I mean, if I can give you a sharp answer in 1 minute, I'll be a rich man.
Let's try.
I mean, that's just a funny way of saying that the answer to a very complex problem cannot be a simple answer. So there are, if I can reduce it to maybe 2 or 3 elements. The first one is we've now discovered through the private investigation that was undertaken by the previous head of Eskom, Mr. Andre de Ruyter, there's enough evidence that is showing us that criminal cartels or networks are working inside the electricity provider, especially in the area of procurement and maintenance and diesel and coal. They're siphoning off these very important necessary products to make electricity. The state capture or large-scale corruption that took root in the body politic in the last 10 years or so. That answer is a political one. It's a policy issue. It lies at the level of the national executive. And then last, whatever you choose to do, how you tackle crime, corruption, the policy mix, the relationship with private and public, you need to have good managers.
Okay, talking of South African electricity crisis, there was Anthony van Nieuwkerk, an analyst and professor at the Thabo Mbeki African School of Public and International Affairs.
Yeah, picking up from his last words, you need better managers. You know,
yes.
If any person in a position to manage something should be able to do a good job if they really fit the role that they've been given.
So I hope the new electricity minister, will be able to lead the team and make the crisis go away in South Africa.
That's the hope for many in South Africa. But let's jump straight to our Facebook page, DW Africa, because quite a number of comments came through. Kofi Otalo says, South Africa has been declining and plunging into the abyss of hopelessness since Mbeki, Zuma and Ramaphosa took over. It's pathetic, you add.
And Potiphar Tembo says, electricity minister, ! Energy minister sounds better. Anyway, cadres must be rewarded with jobs.
Okay. James Roy Mayok says, this is a good move because government is rooting for everyone who has a chance to work and deliver services to people who are in need of development. Okay, interesting angle you're looking at, James.
And Victor Omosh says a whole new Ministry of Electricity to report on status of electricity outage. That's the biggest joke of a century.
Wow, strong words there. Chimota Magera says ANC has run out of ideas. They have nothing new to offer South Africans. A number of you are not happy with the way things are being run, but for now, we'll say only time will tell. Now, still in South Africa, the escalating level of gun-related violence and general crime in the country has attracted national anger. The public is now accusing police of losing the war on crime.
And the latest crime statistics figures show that over 7,500 people, including police officers, were murdered between October and December 22, Eddie.
Staggering figures. Hundreds of these were gun violence-related deaths and violent crime. As Tuzo Kumalo reports from Johannesburg, the government says a solution is on its way.
South Africa's latest crime statistics has left citizens shocked and worried for their safety. A total of 7,555 people were murdered in South Africa between October and December 2022. Over 3,000 of these were murdered with a gun. The rest were killed with knives, bricks, bare hands, and other dangerous weapons. It is the recent daylight killing of South Africa's popular rapper, AKA, that has got the nation scrambling for solutions to violent crime. The rapper was shot execution style as he left a popular restaurant in Durban last month. But it is Police Minister Bheki revelation about the number of illegal guns in communities that has left many even more scared.
In the past 12 months alone, police have permanently removed and destroyed 65,519 illegal firearms. The SAPS will continue to intensify operations to detect and remove illegal firearms and ammunition.
Robbery with aggravated circumstances and common assault have also increased, with close to 6,000 women raped during this same period. Crime activist Yusuf Abramji says the police have simply lost the war against criminals.
Really, I think we all have reason to be very, very worried. The criminals are having a major onslaught. Organized crime syndicates are running amok. There's no respect for life. There's no respect for property.
Some are now calling for all gun ownership permits to be withdrawn and all guns removed from the hands of citizens. Some want the death sentence to be restored as a deterrent, but human rights groups have objected to this. Mondli Gungubele, minister in the presidency, says the government is aware of the situation and attending to it.
These heinous and cold-blooded attacks, which are being investigated by law enforcement authorities, highlight the prevalence of gun violence and its impact in the communities. Cabinet reassures South Africans that South African Police Service is being strengthened to prevent crime. This includes putting more police on the streets and setting up specialized teams that will focus on specific types of crime.
However, many citizens say they are worried that by the time these solutions finally come, it will be too late for thousands of crime victims.
Tuzo Kumalo with that report.
Now, Eddie, like Tuso says, the government says the solution is on its way. We asked on the Facebook page, do you believe Cyril Ramaphosa's government has a solution to the country's rampant crime? And Colin Nduna says, I have enough respect for Nelson Mandela. However, he didn't deal with many issues soon after independence. A lot of freedom fighters didn't hand over guns, and gun ownership policy is still the same.
Interesting way to look at it, Collins. Well, Junior Anthony says, if the government can't solve the problem, let Cyril Ramaphosa allow Julius Malema of the EFF to solve this problem. Okay.
All right. And Isaac Godwin says, if they take away the guns from the people, would the city be free from those elite who misuse the power of guns and some disgruntled law enforcement officers? That's a question he's asking.
Yeah. And a comment from someone calls him or herself Baby Truth says, if the government can't solve the problem, what about the people themselves. And this is the challenge. You don't want people to start having guns and, you know, there's going to be a lot of violence. If you want an example, look at what's been going on in the US. Already 100 mass shootings. So South Africa does not want to descend into that situation. But these are some of the comments on our Facebook page, DW Africa. Keep the debate going on the page.
We appreciate you staying with us. And in case you've just joined us, this is DW's Africa Link program live from our studios here in Bonn, Germany. My name is Josie Mahachi.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. You can connect with us through our partner stations around the world. Also, you can catch us live on our Facebook page, DW Africa. Ben Chimang, it's been a while I saw you on here.
Ben.
Yeah, you say listening live in Abuja, Nigeria. Sharp and clear voices. Thank you very much for that. Richard Center says you're listening from Canada. Isaac Ehosa Godwin says listening from Lagos. All of you are very welcome to the program.
Yes, now coming up in the next few minutes, Ghana on alert to control the spread of Lassa fever. We hear from a health expert creating awareness of the disease.
It is on top of me to create the awareness so that the general public will know that there is something called Lassa fever, so that people will protect their children, protect their homes in order not to contract this viral disease.
That's definitely a good move. Also ahead, homegrown pharmaceuticals will go to Zambia to find out the future of the pharmaceutical industry. But before that, let's go to Ghana. The country's health service is on the alert to control the spread of Lassa fever in the country. The disease has already affected 14 people, with 1 death recorded.
Among those affected are health staff. The zoonotic disease is common in parts of West Africa. Ghana recorded the disease for the first time in 2011, and the authorities want people to observe good protocols in order to avoid getting infected. Maxwell Sook has more on this report.
Around the Kalandam Park in Tamale, Ghana's northern region, health promotion specialist Yakubu Rahinatu targets low-income households with information about Lassa fever. Her agenda is to raise awareness among women about the outbreak of the virus in Ghana.
As people have started losing their life, it is on top of me as the regional health promoter to create the awareness so that the general public will know that there is something called Lassa fever, so that people will protect their children, protect their homes in order not to contract this viral disease.
The virus, according to experts, is transmitted through exposure to feces, urine or bodily fluids of a reservoir host, primarily rodents, which are common within most neighborhoods. A resident, whom Yakubu, is worried about the virus.
We live with the rodents in our homes. I bought peanuts recently and left them in the room just to find out that the rodents have eaten some. I didn't know this and used the rest to prepare soup. If I knew, I would have thrown the rest away. So this education is a wake-up call.
A situational report issued by the Ghana Health Service revealed that 14 people, including health workers, are currently infected with the virus. The case profile of the disease has been low in Ghana since its first outbreak in 2011. Acting Health Director in Northern Region, Dr. Brema Baba Abubakari, attributes that to an effective surveillance front.
If our surveillance system was not strong, it would have spread and gotten to so many places before we could understand what was going on. But as soon as the first case came, we were able to pick it up, and we now continue to follow the trail.
But Lassa fever is endemic in West Africa, affecting up to 500,000 people and killing an average of 5,000 annually. According to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, more than 600 Lassa fever cases have already been recorded this year. For Humu Yakubu in Tamale, despite the low prevalence in Ghana, she is now well equipped to fight the disease.
What we have heard today will help us. When we get back home, We will inform our colleagues so we can all protect ourselves from the virus.
However, recent shortages of vaccines and outbreak of other infectious diseases such as measles exposes the country to real-time health challenges.
Maxwell Sook with that report. And straight to our Facebook page, we ask, can President Nana Akufo-Addo's government, which has come under scrutiny recently because of its handling of the economy, deal with health challenges satisfactorily?
Yaya Kroma says, why always Ghana with the Lassa fever disease issues?
Okay. Now, Nicholas and Shiompong says, yes, the president of Ghana can handle it well because of our past experience in COVID-19.
Yeah, and I think it's good to note this, Josie, that you can call it a bit of good news. Lassa fever is less likely than Ebola to spread from person to person, and it is actually far less deadly. Also, the death rate for Lassa fever is approximately 1% compared to about 70% when you get infected with Ebola, and it is curable also when treated early. So we don't want to freak people out.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that can be managed, and also we check the statistics. We're not talking about many people that have been infected and many that have lost their lives, although every life matters, of course.
So it's good to discover it early.
Once you do that,
treatment.
exactly, treat it early, and you should be good. But yeah, let's just also know the things that can be done to prevent from getting infected in the first place.
Exactly. Now, still on health matters, wouldn't it be lovely for more and more African countries, Eddie, to reduce their dependency on imported medicines? Well, that dream is not far from reality. Zambia and the European Union, EU, have partnered to help set up local pharmaceutical manufacturing companies.
Yeah, as you said, the aim is to reduce Zambia's dependence on imported medicines and foster socio-economic development. Now, a recent pharmaceutical manufacturing forum attracted the interest of 50 local and international companies in the pharmaceutical sector. Gloria Mushenge in Lusaka has more in this report.
The Zambian government and the European Union are working towards setting up pharmaceutical manufacturing plants in the country. The move is being regarded as an income booster and a breakthrough for a country that has in recent times been rocked by severe drug shortages. Landlocked Zambia receives patients from other countries too. So how will the manufacture of pharmaceuticals locally work, and which markets would be targeted? Jerome Kanyika, a pharmaceutical expert, explains.
We have different companies that are interested in investing in Africa and Southern Africa. If they are coming to the country like Zambia to see how best they can put a base in Zambia to be able to supply in DRC, to be able to supply in Tanzania, in Namibia, in Botswana, and other neighboring countries. We are talking about millions of dollars coming into the country. Not only that, Southern Africa has been hit with serious supply chain problems. So as we are talking, Zambia is ready to supply to over 200 million people of the southern region.
Out of the companies that have expressed interest to help the country to produce pharmaceutical products, 18 are European. At the recent launch of the Zambia-EU Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Forum, a Zambian and European company signed a partnership to begin producing drugs locally together. Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema said he looked forward to more of such partnerships.
Let us embrace investments. Investment will bring growth. Investment will bring jobs. Investment will bring business opportunities in the supply chain.
For the European Union, Zambia's pharmaceutical industry is crucial for increasing health security and for private sector-driven socio-economic development. Elias Banda is with the EU delegation to Zambia.
The European Union has been working closely with the Ministry of Health to support the Zambia Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Initiative since its inception. Other partners are the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry, the Zambia Development Agency and Zambian business associations with a stake in the pharmaceutical industry.
Africa imports between 70 to 90% of essential medical needs, according to Zambia's health ministry. Minister Sylvia Masebo contends that the COVID-19 pandemic exposed Zambia's vulnerability in ensuring access to vital medicines and medical supplies, adding that the country, as well as others in Africa, view the supply of safe, effective and affordable medicines and vaccines as a national security issue.
Gloria Mushenge.
Now, moving ahead, most times we keep you up to date with what is trending online. Big Brother Titans contestant Kosi Twala is trending on Twitter, Eddie. I mean, this afternoon during my lunch time, that's what I was reading.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, now we'll find out why, obviously, from you.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to get to know more from your side. We also have some nature stories, Josie. Mm-hmm. Apparently, a bird species has been spotted for the first time after 24 years in Madagascar, even though scientists thought the species was extinct. I asked our very own Mona Westholt to tell us more.
It's the bird called dusky tetraca. The last time it was seen was in 1999. But now scientists have discovered it in Madagascar. And many bird lovers are celebrating that because the bird has been on the list of the 10 most wanted birds in the world. Yes, and now the expedition team actually found 3 birds of them.
Okay, I mean, so my question is pretty obvious and straightforward. Where was the bird? I mean, did the bird just go into hiding and decide to show up?
The bird was in the rainforest, but it has actually been found in an unexpected spot. It was close to a river.
Okay.
And the scientists haven't been looking in the river area because they said that when looking for birds, you should mainly listen for the sounds of the bird. And if you're close to a river, you can't hear the birds. So that is actually maybe the reason why the scientists didn't find the bird for 24 years.
So it's important to find birds like these?
Definitely.
What do we need them for?
Well, they're birds, they're nature, they should be there. They shouldn't go extinct.
That's fair enough. That's definitely a fair statement. But hey, let's move away from the nature stories. Let's talk about something a bit more exciting, especially for Big Brother fans, right? What's the gossip there? We hear something talking about Big Brother Titans, which is a joint edition of Big Brother from South Africa and Nigeria. Fill us in on what the whole trending thing is about.
Yes, so contestant Kosi Twala is trending on Twitter. There are different hashtags like Africa for Kosi or Kosi Reigns or Coffee for Kosi. And Coffee for Kosi is actually the show that she launched on Big Brother Titans.
Her own show?
Yeah, it's not a real show launch, of course, but she's started interviewing the other contestants about topics like languages. And that is basically what the trends are about.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of smart, right? Just trying to be of relevance while in the house. So for something like this, it would be difficult to evict her from the house, wouldn't it?
Yes, and she's also a journalist in South Africa, so it might be smart to launch her own show while on the big TV screen.
Well, I should think of that the next time on a reality show. But how are the fans responding to this?
They love it. It seems like a lot of people on Twitter already have crowned her the winner of the show. They want her to win, and they say she's incomparable to any other contestants that have ever been on the show.
Okay, you think she's going to win?
Sure.
Would you want her to win?
I think she sounds pretty interesting. She should win, yes.
Okay, thanks to you. I'm going to be paying attention to Big Brother Titans. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I was speaking to our very own Mona Westholt. I have to admit, Josie, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even know there's something like Big Brother Titans going on.
Coffee for.
Yeah.
Kosi.
I knew you weren't paying attention. Yeah, coffee for.
No.
Coffee
it's
for
confusing.
Kosi. Yeah.
Coffee for Kosi. Anyway, that was a good chat that you had with Mona there. Yeah. And by the way, she's here in the studio with us. Good smile, Mona. Anyway, you can come to the mic. Another story making headlines today is International Equal Pay Day. Did you know that women earn 51 cents for every dollar earned by their male counterparts?
Yeah, the latest updates from International Labour Organization shows virtually no improvement in women's access to employment, working conditions, or the persistent pay gap over the last 2 decades.
Now we have some comments here. Gary Miskrashi was commenting on Twitter saying, "This is very wrong in my profession. It is actually not true. Women realtors outshine men." I think that is true. I've seen a lot of pictures of women on those billboards. But anyway, I don't know in terms of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Shadow Marco replied to the UN Labour Organization and tweeted, "This is misleading, sweeping generalization, misrepresenting the actual data."
And Lepsha Albert says, even at grassroots level, same implies rather still.
Josie, I don't know why people try to fight this. The fact of the matter is there's a lot of structural imbalances when you come to a lot of professions. That there are a lot of professions out there where men make more money than women. Some people try to, talk about things, don't generalize it. It's not in all cases. There is an actual problem that needs to be solved.
It's so unfair.
I should be happy getting all that extra cash if that was the case. But here at Deutsche Welle, we don't do that. So just to put out there, but it's really a problem in different places. But hey, we wish we had enough time to dig into this. Let us know your thoughts on our Facebook page, DW Africa. Thanks a lot for your time. I am Eddie Micah Jr.
And from everybody else behind the scenes, including our technician Klaus, my name is Josie Mahachi.
Made for Minds.